go.
Hi everyone, so now we're just going to cover some safety on the bank, in the boat and in the water. So firstly, before we even hop in the boat, before we put our PPE on, we just want to make sure that everyone's had a good breakfast, everyone's full, no one's hungry, because you want to be full of energy and ready to go for the day. We're going to be feeding you along in the day as well, so you're going to have some morning tea and lunch later down the track. We want to make sure that everyone's had a good night's sleep, that we've all got some sunscreen on. I've got appropriate clothing on, so as you can see I've got a nice lightweight long sleeve collared top on at the moment, some lightweight quick drying shorts and some really sturdy enclosed shoes. With shoes it's important that we have this kind of stuff because we don't know what kind of stuff's on the bottom of the river as we're walking in before we hit our boats, or if you capsize and you do happen to kick your foot on something, we don't want any people scratching themselves up and stuff like that. Good grip's important as well, so when we're walking around on the rocks and things in between, if we have the portage and stuff like that. We want to make sure that we've got a hat for between our stops. If we take our gear off at lunch and stuff, we can pop our hat on. We make sure that we take any jewellery off before we hit the water, just because we don't want any rings, necklaces, earrings, stuff like that that can get caught or tangle or strangle us and stuff like that. We'll put our PPE on as well, and a part of our safety is that we have different levels of where PPE should be worn and stuff. So up here, nowhere near the water, fine. Don't have to have my PPE on. If I'm going down to the water, I definitely have to have my PPE on, and if I'm in a boat on the water, there's no excuse for not having any PPE on. And you won't be allowed it on the water unless all your PPE is done, put on, and that it's done up correctly and I've checked it. So this jacket is a bit different to the one that you'll be using. This is a rescue life jacket. So I'll pop it on. Yours will have typically 3 big buckles and 1 smaller buckle, which you'll do up. It's important that when we first put our jackets on that we've loosened everything up. My buckles and straps are on the sides, so I'll just do those up. Sometimes it's a bit tricky to do your jackets up on your own, especially with these life jackets, the rescue ones. So if you do need help, just sing out and we can get you some. I think I've done the wrong one. There we go. Yeah, just sing out and we can get you some help. So now that I've got those done up, I'll tighten them up. You can tighten these ones on the other side as well. So that's pretty comfy, and I just have this extra one to do because mine's different to yours. So that's comfy, not too tight, not too loose, and I'll get someone to do a body check for me in a second. So before we do that, we'll just pop our helmet on. It's kind of like a bike helmet, abseil helmet, all that kind of stuff. You guys probably used one before. Just pop it on. I want to make sure that it's kind of like 2 fingers. We don't have any big foreheads showing. It's comfy. It's not going to move around even when this is not done up. I'll do that up. Got 2 fingers under there, so it's not going to come off over my chin or anything like that. Got these straps done up under my ears, just so it's fit perfectly to my head. And now that I'm all dressed in all my PPE and appropriate clothing, I'll get someone to do a body check for me. So I'll get Ella to come in, check me. So she can't bring it up over my shoulders, I'll do her as well. If I was able to bring these straps over her ears, then she would have to get this adjusted and stuff like that. So her helmet looked pretty good as well. It was done up tight, and I saw her shook her head before, so she's all sweet. So now that we're dressed appropriately, we're fed, we're watered, got all our kit, we're going to hit the boats. So, it's important that before we hop into our boat, we're going to dust our feet off. Usually there's heaps of sand, mud, rocks, kind of stuff like that around the areas that we're walking around before we hop in the boats. And if we just jump into our boats and get that kind of stuff in our boats, eventually it wears down the materials and we can get holes and it just gets dirty and difficult to clean. So it's just proper care and maintenance of our gear that we wash our feet off before we hop in a boat. This boat is really different to what we're probably typically paddling, so I'll just demonstrate I'm hopping in my boat, washing my feet. They're in. And so, as you can see, this is probably how you typically sit in this boat, but in a raft or an inflatable canoe, we have thwarts, so it's typically like some inflatable tubes, this kind of area, and we'll sit and usually shove one foot underneath one and another one on the side wall, and so that I'm well braced in my boat, and that if I hit any bumps and stuff like that, we go through a bit of a rocky rapid, I'm not falling out because I'm well braced. If I've got my legs flailing everywhere, I'm definitely going out. I'm going to be going for a swim and someone's going to need to rescue me. So it's important that I'm secured in my boat. I need to hold my T-grip at all times, so I'm not knocking any teeth like we discussed earlier. So I'm paddling, hand on T-grip, secured in the boat, and if I do happen to, for whatever reason, I'm bumping and I fall off, and I like sit on the floor of the boat. I want to get up as soon as possible because the floor's not as thick, and for whatever reason, like there's some unexpected rock that we've run over. If that hits the bottom of the boat, it's going to hit my tailbone, and I'm going to be pretty sore and sorry. So no kneeling, no laying, no being too relaxed. You want to be comfortable but safe and secure in your boat. So it's also important that if for whatever reason there's like some branches and stuff like that, we get into a bit of a narrow part in the river or the creek, that we always duck forward and they go over our heads. Because if I see it and I try to limbo it, it could get caught on something and I'm probably going head over heels and out. So now that we've figured out what we should be doing whilst we're in our boat on the water, we're going to figure out what happens if we, for whatever reason, get kicked out. So it's important that we know how to swim aggressively and defensively. So defensive swimming is I've fallen out of my boat, say this is my boat, I've come over a bumpy rapid, I've dropped my paddle and I'm out. And my boat's going down, the water's fast, and my partner can't reach to me or anything like that, so I have to do defensive swimming. I've got my toes up, my nose up, my feet downstream, so this is upriver, downriver, and we're doing that kind of defensive swimming. If I want to direct myself into like an eddy or towards a boat or towards a bank, I'm going to point my head in the direction of the way that I want to go. So I want to go this way, to my right, the water will hit me on my side, I'll be doing my defensive swimming, the water will hit me nicely and I will come across. Same thing, if I want to go left, the water will be hitting me that way and I will start going that way. If for whatever reason I need to swim aggressively to get out of a situation, say that there's a rapid right there and I definitely don't want to be going down that little drop or anything like that and I need to get out quick and there's a nice eddy right there, I'll flip over, my head will be still facing the same direction that I want to go and I'll start aggressively swimming. And then I will start going that way and I'll be in that eddy nice and safe. So the same thing, if I want to go the other way, head faces that way, water hits me on the side and I go that way. If we capsize our boat, I'm going to make sure that, say you pop up underneath your boat and it's dark and you don't know where you are, you're probably underneath your boat. You're going to pop out and push out from underneath and be into that defensive swimming so that you don't have any foot entrapments, because if we're putting our feet on the floor of the river and we're also like flowing with the river, we're moving, there's a high chance that I'm going to get a foot entrapment and that's getting stuck and I'm getting pushed forward. My face is going to be in the water, I'm not going to be able to breathe. Not ideal. So what we will be doing is I've capsized, I'm counting, I might have been in a boat with Elle, I'm going, Elle, are you alright? Are you okay? She's responding, yes, I'm okay, if she is okay. And then our task is then to, if we're close enough to our boat, get back into our boat. If there's someone on a bank on the shore with a throw rope, they'll throw it to us, pull us in. Someone might be able to do a paddle rescue, and we'll cover those things in a second. But say my boat is right here, I want to be able to get back into my boat. So I've gone into my defensive, but then keeping my feet up still and not placing them on the bottom of the floor of the river, I'm grabbing onto the side of my boat. There's usually along the sides of your boat. You're going to grab onto one of those, you're going to kick, you're going to push down on those ropes, and it's kind of like a bit of a seal move, and you'll pull yourself up, and we'll get everyone to practice those as like after when we're in the water, just so you know what you're doing. For whatever reason you're struggling with that, or if there's just someone else in the boat and we don't want to exhaust you guys, I'm going to have someone in the boat and I'll help you person in the boat will help pull you in. So I'll get someone to come over. Elle's in the water, she needs to get back in. I'm just going to give her a hand. I'm going to grab the straps of her jacket. I'm not going to grab her arms or just a hand or anything like that. We don't want to hurt her, and this is the safest place to bring her in on. So I'm just going to go, Elle, are you ready?
Yeah.
Alright, so, and go! And now Elle's in the boat as well, and we can start paddling again. So with those different types of rescues that I mentioned before, like a throw rope and a paddle, with a paddle, this is the only time, emphasis on only time, that you will be allowed to let go of your T-grip. So I'm paddling, I'm in my boat, and someone's out there, they've just popped out the back of my boat. They're close enough, they're in their defensive swimming. I can let go of my T-grip, reach out, pull them in, and they can get back into the boat, and then we can keep going. If they're too far away, I might have to get my throw rope out. So if I've got a throw rope, it's usually attached around my waist. I'll unclip it, bring it out the front, grab a piece of rope from out the top of it, hold on to the bag, and I'll yell out to them just to make sure. Sometimes they might not know what's going on. They're too caught up in the moment. They're just trying to focus on defensive swimming, stuff like that. So you're going to go rope, rope, rope. You might call out their name, get their attention, make sure they make eye contact with you, and then throw it to them. And sometimes it's good to throw a little bit up higher than where they are, because the water will bring the rope down to them pretty quick anyway. So you just aim off a little bit, they'll grab the rope, make sure tell them to grab the rope and not the bag, because if they grab the bag, then like another 10 meters of rope might come out, and there's just loose rope everywhere, and it's just dangerous. So grabbing the rope, not the bag, and then placing that rope over their shoulder, and say there's the boat, they've put it over their shoulder, and then they're going to get pulled in by the person that was in the boat or on the shore, what have you. So that was our on bank, in boat and in water safety. Thanks.